have an umbrella policy, is that
Yes,
your
I
question?
just, yeah.
Good shot.
I can speak to,
We
we are a government agency, so we would automatically not be required to cover somebody. However, we have in the past had, for instance, someone who was riding a bike and had some medical injuries. And our insurance company, we do have, as part of our insurance package, a medical piece that picks up to a very small amount, but it did assist with getting some work done that this individual needed. So we do assist if something happened on the park. They were riding on a trail. It was not fault of the park, but they were injured on one of our trails. That does not mean we accepted blame. We were just assisting in that. Maybe the legal counsel could also speak a little more on this and as to how it works with government agencies and.
Well, yeah, I am not familiar exactly with the terms. I don't typically see the insurance policy. I will tell you that the park district enjoys what's called recreational immunity, which means if you offer your property in Ohio for recreational purposes, you are immune from most suits. So, for example, somebody slips down the hillside and hurts themselves, the park would have no liability exposure to them for any injuries they might suffer. You take a risk when you come into a recreational facility. Nevertheless, we have insurance, to the best of my knowledge, that covers liability type claims like that, just in case. 9 times out of 10 or 99 out of 100, they're going to go out because of recreational immunity, but nevertheless, we have the insurance. I don't know the status of the umbrella policy. I'm doubtful that insurance would cover necessarily some sort of damage to an adjacent parcel. And I'm not sure what you meant by that, but the park district could have exposure if it causes, through its negligence somehow, damage to adjacent properties.
By permitting hunting on your property, you expose yourself to creating a damage to adjacent properties, depending on the location of the hunting. So that was the focus of my question. What is the park's liability in that case? Should buildings or animals be injured in adjacent properties? I'm talking about domesticated animals.
Yeah, recreational immunity would not protect the park against a claim like that, so that hopefully would be covered under liability insurance.
Okay. And what was the name of the agency that you were? Love.
LOVE.
Okay. Do I have time for a second question?
Yes.
Okay. This question relates to, back to your video production. Video production is a costly thing, and you do want to make sure that it's done well. The publicity that you're doing now is specifically generally print, although there is some online stuff. But the monthly newsletter has always come to our house and been enjoyed by us. For the last several months, at least a page of that newsletter is taken up by I'm not exactly sure how to politely describe it, but it's commentary by Judge Timothy Grindell. Do you anticipate in your upcoming videos to feature either in a spoken video or cameo of the judge?
No, the board would have to vote on that, and it could be a no vote.
You're supposed to be here.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be a public forum for any opinion.
No,
I just wondered because
No, that's absolutely not anticipated.
none of us would vote for that, Dave, sorry.
Okay.
We're
Thank
not
you.
running a political election here in the park, thanks. Yes.
Well,
Hello, my name is Kathleen Webb. I live in Munson Township, and I'd like to, since I've been on record as objecting to the sports equipment at Bass Lake Park, I want to thank the board for promptly responding and removing most objectionable pieces. And I want to thank Mrs. Shumway for acknowledging the comments that I sent to the board. I appreciated that. And about the volleyball kit, there's something about a big expanse of sand that's especially attractive, I think, to young children. But I'll leave it to their moms and dads to object if they find it to be a problem. So again, thank you for taking action on that for us.
Last time we were here, there was a discussion from the Bass Lake Club with the gentleman who wanted to renew the lease and so forth. Where are we on that?
We renewed it for 90 days, as you know.
Yes.
You made the motion, and there's been no further follow-up. Mrs. Shumway and I have had some discussions one-on-one as to whether or not we accommodate just the people in that community, or we accommodate everyone in the county. For example, we might want to solicit opportunities, use the boat racks, things of that nature. So whether or not we neglect, we have services for just the Bass Lake community. So I think that needs to be a decision of the board, a discussion of the board. I would propose putting that on the agenda for the May or the June board meeting.
Is there some agreement that that the Park District entered into whereby the club and or the members of that residents of that community have some special status by virtue of entering into having to be a park in the first instance?
In general, they have first dibs at early reservations for the Bass Lake Clubhouse. They have rights to house their boats right next to the dock at Bass Lake, things of that nature. I'll be happy to get you the current agreement.
And is that facility, we presumably keep some sort of a track or record of the use of the facility and all our facilities like it, correct?
Yes.
And is there information available whereby we could see which the facilities in which parks are the most intensively used, and then consider whether we should have more facilities at those parks in order to accommodate the use?
Well, I was gonna say, Anna can clarify for you really quickly. Am I wrong that we have almost 100% booking of all of our lodges and shelters for the summer?
Our lodges, the enclosed lodges for the summer are almost 100%.
Yeah, almost 100%.
And on the weekends, weekdays are still available.
And some of the properties, for example, Bass Lake does not allow us to build anything else because of the management agreement that we went into with that property as an EPA property. As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but part of the dilemma we're looking at now is there were some very seriously false allegations made to the EPA in regards to Bass Lake Preserve. And one of them was someone called and said that the Geauga Park District was going to be running baseball leagues at Bass Lake Preserve. Another called and said that there were major trapping of otters at Bass Lake Preserve by the Park District. And because of that, the EPA attorneys are telling us they want us to purchase 3 acres more of property in order to continue to run some of the things that have been running at Bass Lake Preserve, which would include the boat docks, really everything short of just the pavilion, the bathrooms, and one path. So unfortunately, I can agree with people's passion, but I really have a problem when someone calls and misrepresents the truth, so much so now that the EPA attorneys are telling John Oros they don't know who to believe with the calls that have been made to them. And they would like us to consider making it a complete preserve. It's an EPA property. So what was a magnificent county community park might become a preserve that you can walk on the trail down to the pavilion and the house, and there will be no more permits on the lake or anything else. It would all be naturalist run, similar to Burton Wetlands. So we have to review that.
To speak to your original question, Jeff, Anna and her staff is gathering information on what's reserved, what's not. We will have reports, and part of the strategic plan that the staff will bring forward will be to take a look at perhaps properties that are not usable as a park, that don't have shelters, that don't
do we need to go for executive session because we do have legal?
There's one matter of pending litigation that I'd like to update you on.
Okay.
And personnel as well, so. Legal and
First, we
personnel.
go into executive session.
No, wait, John's got a quick question.
Could I make just a
Yeah,
short?
real quick.
John always can get a Parkland Township. You made a comment about Pine Brook being a poor, not a good, a bad agreement, and I agree with you, it certainly is not as.
Not bad acquisition, a bad agreement. There's
Yeah,
two
well,
different
see, the
things.
problem was, and I remember talking with Bob McCullough at the time, that was, you know, our people, the park people, they're pretty tough negotiators. And they did as good a job as they could on that. If they wouldn't have made that agreement, they wouldn't have got the property. And it was shortly after that the shale oil boom started to interest people. And when they made the wetlands agreement, they were required to sell, to buy any future drilling rights from, there were companies that had drilling rights on the property. They were required to buy them back. It was very fortunate that they did that when they did, because what you could have ended up with is a large shale oil industrial platform in there somewhere, and it would have really ruined the area. So even though it was not a good agreement, the park will eventually get that land when the last of the landies die. The last child is about 40 years old, so it could be another 40 years before the park has complete control over that property. But it will come.
I think it's closer to 60 years, John, but chances are you and I are not going to be here in 60 years.
Oh, probably not. But I had just read the Ohio Wetlands Agreement, and I do specifically recall a clause in there that said, that allows access to the property to make sure there's compliance with the Ohio Wetlands Agreement. So
Okay.
somebody has the right to do that, whether it be the park or rangers, somebody, you know what I mean? All right, thank you.
Okay.
We'll go into executive session to discuss pending litigation and personnel.
Could we just define personnel first? We're always just saying generally personnel, we
Yeah.
should say compensation or.
Update on the arbitration.
It's the update. Update on union arbitration.